We're getting an important update coming in. Well, the Delhi police has arrested another accused in the Delhi Jal Board case. Remember that this was a case in which a 17-foot in fact deep pit had in fact claimed the life of a biker, 25-year-old biker. What's important to understand is that the Delhi police have arrested Yogesh. Now, he is a resident of Etawah in Uttar Pradesh. Important to understand that Yogesh was living in a tent right next to the pit where Kamal had fell. Now, he was working as a labourer on this Jal Board project. Yogesh looked into the pit and saw a motorcycle lying there with its headlight on. Yogesh had in fact even informed the subcontractor Rajesh Prajapati at about 12:22 a.m. is what we're getting at this hour. Now, important to understand that 5 people knew that a person was lying in the pit, but nobody informed the police. If the police had been informed, then Kamal could have been saved in time. Now, this is an important update coming in from the national capital. Remember that a 25-year-old youth lost his life after his bike in fact fell into a 17-foot-long pit. Important to understand that in the latest that we're tracking at this hour, the Delhi police has arrested another accused in the Delhi Jal Board case. The Delhi police have arrested Yogesh. Remember that he is a resident of Uttar Pradesh's Etawah. Yogesh was, remember, living in a tent right next to the pit where Kamal had fell, visuals of which present on your screens at the moment. He was working as a labourer on this Delhi Jal Board project. Now, you know, what's important to understand is the fact that Yogesh looked into the pit and saw a motorcycle lying there. But it's important to understand that he and also the people who were present there, none of them, in fact, informed the police. Remember that this could have actually saved the 25-year-old youth's life. Well, on this, we have my colleague Akil joining us on the broadcast. Akil, walk us through the details. I'm understanding that another person has been arrested in connection with the case.
That's right, Reet. If you see what we are seeing, that this is the second arrest made by the Delhi police in connection with the case. Earlier, what we have seen that Rajesh Prajapati, who was the first accused in this case, was arrested yesterday itself. And today, what we are seeing that from UP's Etawah district, the second accused has been arrested and who has been identified as Yogesh. Yogesh was a person who was present at that point in time when that unfortunate tragedy has taken place, in which what we have seen that on the intervening night of Thursday and Friday, this incident took place at around 12 when this was moving from that very road. At that point in time, his bike basically fell into that gorge, fell into that pit, and after that nobody was basically able to rescue him for the next 6 hours. What we have seen that next morning he was basically recovered from there, and then when he was taken to a nearby hospital, the doctors have declared him brain dead. So right now, currently the investigation is underway. Apart from that, what we have seen that the authorities have also suspended 3 engineers, which include junior engineer as well as the executive engineer in connection with the case. So far 3 engineers have been suspended and 2 arrests have been made in Janakpuri incident.
Right, Akil, thank you so much for joining us and sharing those crucial updates with us. We're tracking more on this story coming in at this hour. While the probe has intensified in the Delhi biker death case, remember that a 25-year-old private bank employee, Kamal Dhyani, was killed after his motorcycle plunged into a 17-foot pit dug by the Delhi Jal Board. Now, this occurred in West Delhi's Janakpuri in fact late Thursday night. Important to understand that in a major breakthrough, the Delhi police have identified an eyewitness, Vipin Singh. The police is claiming that the eyewitness saw the bike falling into a pit and called for help, but the help never arrived, which eventually led to the biker's death in the case. Now, springing into action, Delhi police have detained a subcontractor, Rajesh Kumar. Police investigation is also on and it has revealed that he was responsible for not helping the biker in time. Meanwhile, Delhi Jal Board's investigation committee has prepared its preliminary report on the death of the biker and has even admitted that negligence led to the biker's death and that the pit wasn't secured properly.
गार्ड ने जो है वहाँ पे जो लेबर थी, जो कॉन्ट्रैक्टर की लेबर थी, जिसका नाम योगेश आ रहा है, गार्ड ने उसको बताया। योगेश वगैरह ने नीचे देखा तो वहाँ पे उनको गाड़ी का मोटरसाइकिल का जो है वो हेडलाइट जलता हुआ दिख रहा था और ज्यादा अंधेरा होने के कारण एक ह्यूमन फिगर भी कोई दिख रही थी। योगेश ने जो है 12:22 पे, जो कि बाद में हमें मोबाइल कॉल रिकॉर्ड देखने से इनका पता चला है, अपना जो मालिक है, जो राजेश कुमार प्रजापति, जिनको हम गिरफ्तार कर रहे हैं, तो ये सब बात जो है ये योगेश प्रजापति और इसके जो लेबर है, इनको पता थी कि यहाँ पे गड्ढे में जो है मोटरसाइकिल गिरी पड़ी है और इसमें कोई आदमी भी वहाँ पे गिरा हुआ है, लेकिन इन्होंने किसी को भी इन्फॉर्म नहीं किया।
Right, on this we have in fact Abhishek that's from the Congress joining us on the broadcaster. I wish to understand from you, there have been multiple cases. Just a while back we saw a case in Noida where a similar incident had led to the death of a techie. Now we're seeing an incident where a 25-year-old young aspirational in fact person has now been, his life has been claimed owing to the fact that, the pit that was dug by the Delhi Jal Board was not secured properly. What exactly do you have to say on this?
See, Bharatiya Janata Party never disappoints you. They always believe in shooting and taking action against the most irrelevant, smallest person in the chain. Whenever any of these big projects are happening in any constituency, the local MLA, minister or MP will come forward and inaugurate that with breaking a coconut. All the publicity they will get. But the negligence comes on to the smallest officer. Why can't we learn from the previous incident that happened in Noida and so many other places? There has to be a directive followed by the Chief Minister that any elected representative of that area is equally responsible. If your social media team can get in touch with me, I will show you letters which during my term I used to personally write to the deputy chief and to the deputy magistrate and to the DCs, ensuring whenever there is digging happening, please take preventive measures. But now by arresting these small officers, I think it's just an eyewash. Big people, they get away very easily. It is more like a people-like news. You come, you shoot the lowest person in the hierarchy and get away with it. I think the Chief Minister must come forward, take action against those elected representatives who show that they are getting this project into their constituencies. Why hold of a junior person? Yes, that person is responsible.
Right.
But if the senior management, MLA, ministers, MP, senior officers of Jal Board, Delhi Police are equally involved, then why should they be allowed to go out of this whole disaster? It is very sad to see the way they are behaving.
Right, Mr. Datta, I actually absolutely agree with you there. You've mentioned something very important when it comes to accountability. And apart from this, what's also important to understand is that this seems to be a pattern given the fact that we've just seen an incident in Noida and after which we've seen an incident in Delhi's Janakpuri.